it's Stephanie here from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Y'all, we are going to get into the holiday season? Holiday vibe? Holiday festivities? We're going to start holiday crafting. That's what we're going to do. Alright guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and today is all about the holiday wreath. I am going to take one that's already been pre-made, a faux one, and this is lovely as is, but we have to extra it. It's just how I am. I can't just grab something as is and put it on my door. I'm aware that's a sickness and I do not want to get help. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to extra-fy this. That's a word, it is now. So join me for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to add a whole bunch more greenery to this to really do it over the top. And then of course, add in some Sola flowers for that beautiful, lovely, rustic finishing touch. How's that for an intro? Nice and long. All right, let's jump into the tutorial. Okay guys, for this tutorial, you're going to need a wreath of some sort. I should ask, do you guys ever want to see an actual fresh, like using fresh, like pine and cedar and all that fun stuff? Would you guys like to see a fresh floral type, not fresh floral, fresh greens, winter greens, so pine, cedar, all that fun stuff. I've done swags in the past and then added flowers to them, and they're gorgeous. Never attempted a wreath, but I could try. Otherwise a swag would be really fun to show you guys. So here is a pre-formed wreath. I got it a few years ago. Couldn't honestly tell you where at this point, but I mean, it's lovely as is. But of course, I always need to be extra. And so we're gonna add additional filler to it. Bring in a couple other colors. We have this really fun wheat berry, kind of sparkly filler this year for this holiday season that I'm in love with. So I definitely wanna add that. And so then we're gonna add some berries that are a little off-white that go with that kind of color. Add some red in there too, because holiday and red berries go hand in hand. Some more little pine cones. And then we also are gonna lighten it up a little bit with some other greenery too. Ton of fun. And then for the flowers themselves, super simple, lots of bark, featured wood flowers, as well as some of the cream ones. Not gonna dye anything for this particular one. For this particular tutorial, we're just gonna use the flowers as they come. I love the bark flowers in particular for winter arrangements. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it mimics like pine cones to me, but I love sprinkling those in on a lot of my holiday projects. So that's what we're gonna use for flowers. Now let's just start adding all that stuff into. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start putting kind of things in place the way I want. Now this particular wreath, all of the greenery is kind of strung up with other pieces of wire, so I can slide a lot of this stuff right in. You can put a little bit of glue onto the ends of the stems if you want, so that you can slide that into place. I'm not going to right now. I do have my glue gun on the side ready to go, handy dandy if I need it, but for right now, I'm just gonna add in, there's some holes in different spots. Now the one thing to note, when you're doing a wreath that's already pre-made, you'll be able to see the shape that's already been taken. So the greenery itself is going around in this circle. So you wanna add greenery similar in that direction. Otherwise, your eye's gonna like pull away and go, what? Something's off with this. It's not all flowing the same way, and it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So keep your flow going a similar way. Now there are times that you can break that kind of rule, but typically I like to continue going with the flow of all of the greenery the way that it's already been set up for me. Now, I feel like this piece is way too big and this one was way too little for what we've got going on. So we're gonna flip-flop those. I want this bigger piece here. So we're gonna get that kind of in there, adjust our wires a little bit. There we go. And then this guy, bring it back and be able to scoot him in there. when you get a lot of greenery, it's gonna have individual kind of stems, and then I like to kind of push everything up if I can, or if I can't, I kind of strip off the bottom layers so that I can have a part of the wire I can get in there real easily so that we can stick that in place. So this is a one where I would like take off this bottom piece. Let's snap that off, because that's gonna get in the way when I'm trying to put that in. So I'm gonna take that off. And then I will trim these little guys too, so that they're almost like thorns or little thistles or burrs. We're trying to not have a ton of resistance when we're trying to get it moved into the rest of the wreath form itself. So we're gonna just take those off, and we'll add these in next into any low spaces that we feel need to get filled out. That was perfect right there. Let's make sure we get some with some berries. So even this one, I'm gonna take off that low berry. And then I save all of these pieces of greenery for a later date. I'll use those and individually stem them up for projects just by taking floral wire, and I'm gonna switch some of these out. I'll take floral wire and I'll just put the wire in the little base of that so that I can then use it individually within a project. So save all those pieces, get yourself a cute little basket and hold on to them for the perfect project. One, two, three, four. We'll have an odd number of the berries sprinkled throughout too. It's coming together, guys, isn't it? All right, so let's decide if we want to use these berries at the end. These are pretty long, but you can individually take these apart. Or we might be able to kind of make our stem a little bit longer without having to use all of these. So we're gonna take these and we'll set these aside for maybe even this project, or at least for another one. Shorten this a little bit. All right, so one of the good things to, or what a good idea to do when you're working with a wreath in particular, pick it up every once in a while and just see how is everything flowing. Is something like going way off kilter? Like this one's kind of like, let's scoot some stuff in. Take a look at it that way. The other thing is the flowers. Now, if you're gonna add Sola flowers, you can do a couple different things. I've done it where I just glue them straight into the wreath. Just put a little bit of glue at the bottom of the flower, pop it in there, you're done, pop it on your door. Today we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna continue with that stem kind of wire technique. So I've stemmed up all my flowers. This is with 18 gauge floral wire, and we're gonna slide them in just like we did everything else. The nice thing about this too is because we're using wire, you can adjust as you need to have it sit where you want it to. So remember that too when you're working on the placement. All right, we'll bring you on down again and let's add the flowers. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Now the one thing I don't know is how big I want flowers. These are the biggest ones I have. I think they're not gonna overtake, but let's just see. So we're gonna put one in, and I'm not sure what length of wires I'm gonna need. Oh, don't let me forget. We talked about Twinkle Lights. we'll see if Twinkle Lights work. Okay, I think the flower size is not too big, so it'll be just fine. So I'm gonna sprinkle the other one. I think we'll probably do a similar kind of mirror technique on this. So if I put one there, pop one on the other side. And I think it's got some good spots for that to be able to do that without being overbearing. And also, for whatever reason, I keep putting them by the big pine cones, and I think it actually works. So awesome. All right. Now I don't have the same amount of flowers or all of the different same style flowers, but what I'm gonna do is I am going to, if I put one on one side, I'm gonna mirror on the other side, something that's maybe similar in shape. Do I always do that? Absolutely not, especially with wreaths. With wreaths, I just tend to like fly things in the seat of my pants, just put it in things that I think are pretty, and step back, look at it, and see if it's working, and if it doesn't, remove it and add something else. But this time we're gonna try something a little bit different. Let's play with balance and see how much we like that. And you can kind of feel with your hands when you actually are, when you get some resistance, or if you don't get any resistance, you know if you're hitting a spot, so that you can get some of the wire in the actual wreath form itself. If you're not, then there's a good chance that you're just kind of laying it loosely in there, and that's not what we want. We actually want it to get inside the form of the wreath itself. Okay. So some of them I'm sitting up kind of high, others I'm kind of going underneath. Again, not a lot of rhyme or reason, just if I like it, that's where it's going. I do want to get some flowers on the outer edge of the wreath as well, and not just a strong center of a wreath of flowers or a ring of flowers. I want some coming in different directions as well. Now some of my wires are coming outside of the wreath on the back end, and that's okay for me personally. You could trim them down to size if you don't want them to do that. I'm just taking them with my hand then and adjusting the wires and moving it and wrapping it around the base or the bottom of the, or the back end of the wreath. And I'm okay with that. I feel like it actually gives me a little bit more security of everything that we're working with. So, but you could always trim them as well. Very close to being done. I'm running out of spots where I'm like, that needs something there. So let me just see what else I have on hand. Definitely a process. And I tend to step away and then go, whoa, I need to add more, or oh, I need to take some out. When it comes to wreaths though, however, I tend to be on the more is more is more, and just keep adding and adding and adding. But after these 3 flowers, I will stop. Hopefully, maybe. Well, you'll find out. All right, we're gonna lift it up and see how it looks. How's that look? I think it's looking pretty good. I did have to change the shape. Once I picked it up, I realized it might have gotten squished in storage from last holiday season. So I kind of shaped it a little bit, just going, and we're good to go. I'm feeling like it's definitely filled out quite a bit from the original starting off point that we had. I'm loving it though. Very rustic, very like traditional. Screams like cabin Christmas to me. Loving it so much. I hope you guys loved this too. Learned a few things. Maybe if you looked at a wreath a little bit different. Now, if you get a chance to grab one and you can play around with it. And again, this can be done in any single season. I love taking a base of something and then just just bringing it to its full potential. Do that with a wreath or a garland or a swag or anything. Anything, you can do it with anything. You can add a couple more pieces to it and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. All right, guys, if you have any questions, like normal, just drop them down in the comments. I will answer them as soon as possible. If you're loving these videos, can't get enough, want to know when the next one goes live, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And to find out about the 150 style Sola wood flowers, as well as craft supplies and greenery, go to ohyourlovely.com. And if you're new to wood flowers and want to give it a try, just for you, use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off your first order. One coupon code per customer. 'Tis the season. All right, guys, until next time, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.